Remember what was the rule when we were dividing fractions? What do we do? Right, we flip it over, use the reciprocal, and multiply. So the same thing applies here. When I have a fraction that's a rational expression, I flip over the second term, use the reciprocal, and multiply. So on page 112 in the book, here's the example they give us. 4m cubed minus 12m squared plus 9m on top all over m squared minus 49. Okay, there's our first term. And then that is going to be divided by, there's our second term, 10m squared minus 15m. And then m squared plus 4m minus 21. So there's all our terms. So let's simplify. M squared minus 49 on bottom. That looks like a good place to start. Perfect square. So m plus 7, m minus 7. Then on top, four m cubed. Actually, yeah, let's do that. Let's pull out terms. I love this eraser. What can I pull out up here at the top? I can pull an m out, can't I? So if I pull out an m, this would be rewritten as 4m squared minus 12m plus 9. That looks factorable. So I have m plus 7 and m minus 7 on bottom. I pulled out that m. Then let's factor. So factors of 4, I can use 1 and 4 or 2 and 2. Factors of 9, I can use 1 and 9 or 3 and 3, but I need to get to 12. So let's try the 2m, and a 3 and a 3. So that will give me 4m squared, a 6m, and a 6m. So if I make those both negative, I get negative 12m and a positive 9. Okay. So there's my first term. Remember, we're dividing, so I need to flip this over. So I have m squared plus 4m minus 21 on top now, and 10m squared minus 15m on bottom. So divide, flips over, turns into multiply. So let's factor the top line. M times m squared. Factors of 21 that are going to get me to 4, 7, and 3. My 7 needs to be the positive, and my 3 needs to be the negative. Then on the bottom, let's pull an m out. Do we want to pull anything else out? Yeah, what if we pull that 5 out? 5m. So what do I end up with? I end up with a 2m minus 3. Okay, now look over our problem. What can we cancel? Okay, m plus 7s, those will cancel. 2m minus 3, that will cancel here. Anything else you can see? Okay, this m, that will cancel out, right? And that m will cancel out. Okay, so let's write whatever we have left and see if there's anything else we want to cancel. So I have 2m minus 3 and an m minus 3. Those are left on the top. And then what have I got left on the bottom? I have a 5 left and an m minus 7. Okay, so nothing else looks like it's going to cancel. So there's our final answer. Okay, so let's talk about that for a minute. Our m here and our 5m over here. Right, this is really a 1m. So if you need to, you can write it like this. I have a 1m over 5 times m. 1 over 5 is as simple as it goes, so that will stay the same, but my m's cancel each other out. Okay, so let's do some in the homework and review that concept then of dividing. Let's skip over to page 117. We're going to start on 22. 22 is a squared plus 3a minus 28 on top, and a squared plus a 5a minus a 14 on bottom. That is divided by a cubed minus 4a squared on top, a cubed minus 8 on bottom. Alright, so remember, dividing, you need to flip over that second term, use the reciprocal and multiply. So let's start simplifying here. A times a squared, then factors of 28 that are going to get me a 3. Very good, 7 and 4. Which one is positive, which one's negative? Okay, my 3a is a positive, so my bigger number needs to be the positive. So then I'll end up with a squared minus 4a plus 7a. There's my plus 3a and a negative 28. Down on the bottom, a and a. Factors of 14 that are going to get me to 5, so probably 2 and 7. Positive or negative? Okay, one of each. So 7 positive, 2 negative. So I'll end up with a positive 7a and a negative 14. Okay, remember then we flip over those terms and multiply. So on the top, I'll really have a cubed minus 8. That's a perfect cube. Remember we talked about that last time? So we would need to identify our a term and our b term. So the cubic root of a cubed, so my a value is going to equal the little a. And then the cubic root of 8. Okay, so my b value is going to equal 2. So this is a cubed minus b cubed, so I need to use the a minus b format. So I'll have a minus b and then a squared plus ab plus b squared. Sorry. Okay. So there's my top line, then my bottom line. Let's pull the a squared out of that. So what am I left with? A minus 4. So a squared times a cubed minus 4a squared. Okay, let's look around and see if there's anything we can cancel. A plus 7s cancel, very good. A minus 4s, okay. A minus 2, A minus 2. What do we have left? We have A squared plus 2A plus 4 left on top over A squared. $24 is 5b minus 10 over 7b minus 28 divided by 2 minus b on top and 5b minus 20 on bottom. Okay, let's start simplifying. So I want to pull a 5 out here. I'm left with b minus 2. And if I pull a 7 out down here, b minus 4. Then I flip it over and multiply. So if I pull the 5 out, b minus 4. And then I need to rewrite. Really? So this is really a negative b plus 2, right? So if I pull out a negative 1, it turns into b minus 2. Okay, where can I cancel? B minus 2, b minus 4. So what am I left with? 5 times 5 on top over 7 times negative 1 on bottom. So it's just multiplying fractions, so just go straight across. So 5 times 5, 25, negative 1 times 7, negative 7. Change that into a mixed number. 7 goes into 25 how many times? 3. 21, how many left over? 4 sevenths. Negative 3 and 4 sevenths. So 26 p squared minus 36 over 2p, and that is all times 4p squared over 2p squared plus 12p. Okay, simplify each line. What do we have on top? We've got some perfect squares, right? P plus 6 and a p minus 6 and 2p on the bottom. And then over here we have a 4p squared, and let's pull out a 2p out of this part. So 2p times p will take me back to 2p squared plus 6. Do I have some terms I can cancel? P plus 6 and a p plus 6. Okay, let's rewrite this first before we get confused. So what do I have on the top? I have 4p squared times p minus 6. And then what do I have on the bottom? 2p times a 2p. So that is what? 4p squared. Very good. So 2p times 2p on the bottom. So then my 4p squared and my 4p squareds cancel. And my final answer is p minus 6. I know, it'd be nice if they were all that easy, wouldn't it? 28. So m squared minus 16 is my top value. And to make it easy on myself, I'm going to write that over a 1. And then my second term, I have m squared minus 5m on top, m squared minus m minus 20 on bottom. Okay, perfect squares again. So m plus 4 times m minus 4. That will give me my m squared minus 16. It's all over 1. My second term, let's pull an m out. I'm left with m minus 5 over there. Down on the bottom, let's factor that. So m times m. And factors of 20 that are going to get a negative 1. I want to use the 5 and the 4. So I need a negative 20. So one's going to be positive, one's going to be negative. How do I choose? Okay, my negative 1m is negative, so there, my bigger number. Make the 4 positive. All right, what can I cancel out? M minus 5, those will cancel. M plus 4, those will cancel. Okay. So I'm left with m times m minus 4 over 1, which is that. 28. Let's do 30. Two a minus ab plus 7b minus 14. So we're getting a little more complicated here. Over b squared minus 14b plus 49. So there's our first fraction. And it's divide, which really means I need to flip it over and multiply. I have ab minus 2a and ab minus 7a. Alright, I'm going to start with that second term. That looks like the simplest place to start. So remember, we're multiplying, so we need to flip those over. So if I pull the a out, we'll have b minus 7. And pull the a out, b minus 2. Remember, that gives me a hint. I want to get a b minus 7 or a b minus 2 somewhere else on this other side to cancel things out. Let's start with this one on the bottom. B and b is b squared. 7 and 7 will give me 49. If they're both negative, then I have negative 14b. Top line, let's try to divide that in half. Is there a term I can pull out of this first set? An a. Okay, so if I pull out an a, 2 minus b. Okay, and out of the second set, pull out a 2. You want to make it positive or negative? We don't know yet. Okay. So I'll have a b and a 7, right? No, a 7 and I did that completely wrong, didn't I? If you pull out a 7, I'll have a b and a 2. If I make that a plus 7 and a negative 2, then I'll have some terms I can cancel. Now I need to regroup this top line here. What do I end up with? What are my terms that look the same? The b's and the 2's. Okay, which one needs to be rewritten? This one? Okay, so it's really a negative b plus a 2. So if I pull the negative out and make that a negative a, then I will have a b minus 2. So I have a negative a times b minus 2 plus a 7 times b minus 2. Okay, so now I have some terms I can group. So again, rewrite that top line. What are my terms that are the same? B minus 2. Okay, and then what's left over to be grouped together? Negative a plus 7. We may need to rewrite that later. Negative a plus 7. Okay, then on the bottom, we had b minus 7 and a b minus 7. And bring down this other set of terms. I have a times a b minus 7 and an a times a b minus 2. Okay, where can we cancel? B minus 2, b minus 2, b minus 7, b minus 7, a and a. So I'm left with this. Let's rewrite that so it looks a little bit more correct. If I pull the negative 1 out, it will be a minus 7. That would be my top term. And what's on my bottom? B minus 7. So that would be my final answer. Okay, 32. 18 minus 6x, so those are in the wrong order. They're going to need to be switched around. X squared minus 25. Okay. Then it's divided by, so I'm just going to save us a step and rewrite it as a multiply. So remember, we have to flip it all over. So take the reciprocal of that second term. So my 2x squared minus 18 is going to go on the bottom. And my x cubed minus 2x squared minus 25x plus 50 is going to go on the top. Okay, if I rewrite this first term as a negative 6x plus 18, then I want to pull out that negative 6. So I'll have negative 6 times x minus 3. Then on the bottom, perfect square. So x plus 5, x minus 5. All multiplying. 2x squared minus 18. Let's pull out the 2. Turn that into an x squared minus 9. Because that's a perfect square, so I'll make that a little bit easier. This is actually 2 times x plus 3, x minus 3. Then on top, let's try to do the grouping again. So if I pull out an x squared, we'd have times x minus 2 in that first group. Then in the second group, pull out 25. I'm left with an x and a 2. To group them together, it needs to be the negative. We'll pull out a negative 25. Alright, so let's rewrite. Negative 6 times x minus 3 on top over x plus 5, x minus 5 multiplied by, on the bottom, I've got 2 times x plus 3, x minus 3. Okay, and then on the top, what's my term that's the same? X minus 2. Okay, what's left over? x squared minus 25. Okay, so there's another set of perfect squares. So that needs to be simplified down again. So this will turn into what? X plus 5 times x minus 5, which is good, because then that will cancel, right? X plus 5 and x minus 5, those cancel. What else can cancel? X minus 3. What am I left with? Negative 6, x minus 2 on top, over 2, x plus 3 on bottom. Okay, can I simplify anything else? Yes. Okay, those numbers will simplify. So 6 over 2 will simplify. Okay, negative 3, x minus 2 on top, over x plus 3 on bottom. Okay, there's our final answer. How are we doing? Doing okay? Okay, 34. Is x squared plus 4x minus 5 over x squared minus 5x minus 14. There's our bottom. It's a division, so I'm going to simplify it by flipping it over and multiplying. So what goes in this? X squared minus 4, okay, and then x squared minus 1 on bottom. Now they've added a third term. So multiplying again, x plus 1 on top, x plus 5 on bottom. All right, here we go. Let's start with this top line. So x times x is x squared. 5 and 1 are the factors of 5. I need to end up with positive 4x, so let's make our 5 the positive, or 1 the negative. Down on bottom, so x times x. Factors of 14 that are going to get me a 5. That's a 7 and a 2. So 7 and 2. Negative 5, so I need my 7 to be the negative, my 2 to be the positive. Then I've got some perfect squares over here. Those will factor down, x plus 2 and an x minus 2 on top. And then on the bottom, x plus 1 and an x minus 1. And last step, those are as simple as they go. X plus 1, x plus 5. Okay, let's look through and see where we can cancel. X plus 5, that will cancel. X minus 1, x minus 1. X plus 2, x plus 2. Very good. X plus 1, x plus 1. What are we left with? X minus 2 on top. Everything else canceled over x minus 7 on bottom.